Board games, board games. It's what I'm talking about, kind of. Board games, board games. I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing. And today I am outside. I got upon my bike and came for a ride. I came to join Krys at my old address. We're going to send off some parcels and try to not make too much of a mess. Board games is what I'm talking about. Board games, I'm not gonna shout. So, hello and good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. I am Bez and this is my Bezzy Beats and Briefer Blether. Yesterday, in advance of a talk, I asked people in a couple of places, what are some good things about board game design? How has board game design improved your life in terms of skills, in terms of joys? And in my own mind, I was thinking, yeah, there's lots of things that I've learned. I've learned to be better at communicating, kind of thinking about the other person. I've become better at understanding that it's all about the iteration and putting a little bit of one idea into another idea and changing it, and just understanding that creative process that does not just apply to board game design but to any form of creative thinking. And I'm better at taking feedback, remembering that my projects are not who I am. I'm also better at conversation, I believe, because when you're having discussion after a game, as the designer, it's incumbent upon you to kind of be the chairperson of that conversation, essentially. If people are talking about how to make your game more strategic and more knobbly and something that will be enjoyed by people who want to play it for a couple of hours, but what you're really wanting to do is to make a streamlined game that takes maybe 30 minutes and is accessible as someone's first game, well, then that's, not a useful conversation. And as a person who's being, it's, a, you know, that time, it's not just wasting your time, it's also wasting other people's time. If they're giving you all this feedback, that doesn't really matter. And so, yeah, all of that is a virtue of designing games. But then a lot of people talked about something else, which didn't even occur to me. A lot of people talked about, hey, I just love the community. I found friends. This gave me a sense of achievement. This gave me a sense of belonging. And so that is another benefit of designing board games, not just the learning and learning life skills, but also about the belonging and everything, if you know what I mean. And so that's what I want to talk about today. And hello, Yoda. It is lovely to see you. I hope that you're generally well. Um, Let me get to the start and let's talk about recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights, recent highlights, playing games and other delights, recent highlights. So, yes, for me personally, I played a bit of Bubblee Pop on Board Game Arena. I lost. I just played it once. It continues to be a game that I think, there is a tiny bit more to this than first appeared. There are a few skills to learn, not a lot. It's not like the deepest game by any means, but it's very elegant. I enjoy it. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to keep playing it until I win at least once. That's my rule with Board Game Arena games. I want to play them all until I win at least once. Phoenix by Osamu Tezuka. This is a lovely comic. It's one of these big epic stories. I think there's like 12 volumes. I've only got 2 of them. and I was reading the one about civil war, where people are basically fighting over a phoenix, which is meant to give you eternal life. But then they realize, hey, maybe this phoenix doesn't do anything. Maybe it's just a myth, and life is not eternal, and we all die. And it's kind of a story about mortality and what that means, and that's really interesting. My other highlights is making instant noodles with ginger, and also just this morning I had a shower in my new place for the first time, and it was warm. I have to admit, I was very concerned. Cold showers are one of my fears. I know it's a strange thing to call it a fear, but like kind of having a warm shower and then it turns off. But like, okay, this I'm a bit nervous because I don't know how the water works. I don't know where the hot water boiler is, but yeah, that was good. And yeah, so a quick hello to Jess. I am, yes, in willing to say in Downhills Park. Yoda, I am very happy that you're generally well. Jess's highlights have included being able to be lazy after muscle damage from declining, being lazy and watching 14 Peaks. That sounds lovely. Yeah, I get it. It's like giving yourself time to rest. That is super important. I was basically in bed most of the day yesterday, I have to admit. I don't know if I would call that a highlight as such, but it was certainly nice having that warmth. And I did get a couple of things done. I did catch up with Twitter, which was good. I did write the to-do list for Krys because the way that I work is I make this clear list of, okay, these are all the things that need to be done. And yeah, also while I was cycling back, I worked out a streamlined version of a game that had been kind of co-designing with Isaac Shalev. Isaac Shalev did the original design, but now I'm like, ooh, I don't know if anyone remembers it from my old 8 p.m. on Tuesday thing, but basically you've got letters, you've got to use these letters for points, kind of like Wordsy, kind of like Wibble, but you can use multiple words. So it's like you're using a phrase, and so it says, hey, what is something you would eat? And you can even misspell things. So if it says a Z, you could say beans with a Z, and people are allowed to say, hey, that's cool or that's not cool. And if people want to veto things, then there should probably be some sort of rule about that. But yeah, my idea is to just have yeah, I'm not, is to simplify the getting 1 point per letter, because just saying, okay, you get 1 point per card that you've used, you've got more cards than you'll possibly be able to use, but the longest word and the people's favourite, whatever the people's favourite answer is, that gets double points. But if you're the longest and you're not the people's favourite, then you get eliminated from the contest. So it's kind of having that, oh, I want to be long, I want to include all the letters, but I don't want to be too long. That is that word game. So, yeah. If anyone else has any other recent highlights to share or achievements, then feel free. Otherwise, if you've got any questionably quick questions, that's the next section. It's not an interrogation, it's just a questionably quick question section. Questionably quick questions. I'm going to ask myself, what is a brilliant thing? Brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant? Well, I'm going to say that a brilliant thing is clouds. I think that those clouds are pretty gosh darn brilliant. I mean, they're just gosh darn fluffy and just lovely to look at. I think that that is a brilliant thing. So yes, all the clouds, especially on a day like this, when you get to see just, yeah, when there's different colours going on. I mean, the sun is still, I don't know if kind of, it's not too high, it's like at that level, so there's still different colours going on. So there's like the dark bits and the peachy bits. Yeah, clouds are a brilliant thing. Jess says, I used to live in a cloud, but that was before I knew you, so you won't remember. Not sure what to say to that. Okay, if no one has any quick questions, I guess I'll get back to the main topic, which is making friends through hobbies. And so, yeah, as I said, lots of people, when I asked them what joys or lessons or improvements in your life have you seen through games, had someone say that, well, someone wrote that game design essentially saved their life, saying that they were suffering from depression. And yeah, for sure, board game design gives you a sense of achievement. Even board gaming itself, there's a sense of achievement, or like when you're designing something, to put something onto paper, even if it doesn't work, that is a real sense of achievement. And then, of course, there's the connection, because you need to playtest it with other people. That's a big part of board games. And with enjoyment, I mean, hopefully people are enjoying it. And these three things, achievement, connection, and enjoyment, that's something that's ideally you want to have every day. And so board game design, I think, can be something that can bring that into your life if your life is a bit flat. Now, Jess is complaining that I didn't give enough time for the questions, and you need to be ready for them. You know that I'm going to have the questionably quick question section. So, yeah, that's sure. But anything that gives you flow could save your life. Yes, for sure. Anything that gives you a sense of achievement, but is possible. It's within your ability. And the thing is that, making board game design, what's the target there? Is the target to get a published game? Because if the target is, and what does that even mean? Because like getting a published game, if you consider making 50 copies to be published, well, that's, it's still a major achievement, but it's not so out there. I mean, that's something that you could easily do with print on demand and commission it yourself. But if your goal is to get it on into a game shop, because then you think it's now really published, and sometimes people say, oh, it's to get it into a board game shop, but then they get it into one board game shop and they're not happy. Oh, I need to get it into more. But before that, I want to remind people that just having a prototype, just having something that has been played by someone else is itself an achievement. Having devised those rules and then shown the confidence to present it to a group and then said, hey, this is my thing. It's kind of like you're putting yourself out there. It's like if you write a poem or a song or a book or anything, any creative endeavor, it's got parts of you in it. And when you I'm laughing at Jess. When you you know what I mean. Anyway, let me catch up with the comments. Firstly, hello Manuel, it is lovely to see you. Manuel says, I have a lot of social anxiety and board game rules creates a very comfortable situation for me, where I know exactly what is allowed and what is not. Yes, I like that part as well. I don't know if I have that much social anxiety, but I definitely enjoy rules. I definitely enjoy clarity. I enjoy things being planned. I'm not saying I enjoy doing the planning, but I enjoy things being known and clear. And for sure, with the social conventions, that's a bit more difficult to navigate. My battery is almost done. Jess is complaining about the questionably quick questions, not having enough time. I did sing the song Questionably Quick Questions, but you clearly don't pay attention to my singing. I said, Jess says rock climbing gives me flow. Teaching does. Harassing Bez gives me flow. That's just how it is for me. Talking gives me flow. And so, I want to talk about when you're designing games, not only is there the achievements of what you've done, but then I've definitely found myself that there's people that I've played games with and designed games with and chatted to, and I think it's inevitable that these people, if you see them over and over and over, you are going to be becoming friends. You will, start to learn and appreciate each other. At the start, it might be things that don't really translate into life. Like, okay, this person takes a long time over their turn. Later on, it might be things like, okay, this person values, accessibility. This person has interesting ideas about feminism that they put into their games. This person needs to, be asked questions in a particular way because of the way their mind works. And yeah, you learn about people through any interaction. And as you interact more and more and more, assuming everyone's a decent person, because let's be honest, most people are kind of decent folk. And I think it's inevitable that, yes, on a Friday daytime playtest, we almost specially aim for that with meeting at 10, and we generally don't start playtesting until 11. That gives us 1 hour of just chatting and socializing and maybe catching up with saying, oh, how was that game? Oh, how's your publishing deal gone? Oh, how did the Mojo pitch event go for you? And learning about that, but also, yes, learning about, oh, how was your operation and how are you actually feeling, and talking and learning a wee bit about each other. And then in between the games, we normally spend 90 minutes playing and then half an hour kind of overspill / toilet break / eating time in the middle. And then again, that gives you the chance to get to know people. I definitely feel like I got to know people a lot more at Royal Festival Hall, thanks to the amount of it's really gotten dark. But yeah, I just want to acknowledge that, yes, getting to know people, it's a fantastic thing. And designers are creative. And creative, at least you've got that shared common interest. And I think that it's just inevitable that through any activity, you will start to become part of a design community, and eventually you will become friends. So, I'm going to start wrapping up. Don't have anything more to say about that. But let's talk about... over to you. What are you up to? You can share, but only if you want to. So, do you want to share anything fun and frivolous or super serious? Something that you want to do, something that you have to do? Either way, let me know, because I care about you, and I genuinely hope you're good. I am personally going to do a whole bunch of posting. Last week we didn't do the posting because of the moving was so much hassle. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And then I'm going to start preparing for episode 500, inviting guests to pick a particular time. Might send Isaac Shalev a message about my design idea. But yeah, posting is the number one priority today, getting that done. and in the evening I might go to the pub and play some games. So, Jess says it gets dark in about 30 seconds in Bangkok, and she misses slowly fading light. Um, Jess is watching a man from Nepal climb 14 peaks. Wow. Thank you very much for the respect. Yes, episode 500 is going to be super long, like 25-hour show again. Yes, it is. Thank you, and no, nowhere close. Nowhere close. Some people are. Wow. But sorry, I'm 5%. I'm going to recap and wrap up before I finish up. So, to recap and wrap up, I basically said, yeah, games are awesome. They help me learn to communicate. They helped me learn to build empathy. They helped me build empathy and a mental model of other people. They helped me take feedback and negotiate conversations in general and be patient and learn to iterate no matter what I'm doing. That it's a continual source of improvement. But also, game design does give me that achievement and connection to other people around me. And there's definitely friendships that have evolved. And I think that's a wonderful thing. If you want to check me out, I'm stuffed everywhere. I am going to be streaming the next few days at 10 a.m. UK time. And then I'll have a few day break and I'll be back at 11 for a massive episode. Share the word. Thank you very much, everyone. Lots of love. And the only Yes, my phone battery died, but yeah, I don't have anything more to say, so just back to say, hey Runa, thank you for popping in, and for now, bye 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye 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 bye. My battery ran out. That's what went wrong. Bye 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye 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 bye. And I had to go. Bye 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye 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 bye. And now it's time to go. So yeah, sorry for that. Technical problems and lots of love. Have a wonderful day. And yes, oh, I see the Twitch comments. I hope that you can find a place to move to soon, Runa. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Lots of love. See you tomorrow or Friday. I'll have a much longer stream in like a week and a bit where you'll see more hours of me than anyone probably wants.